Shalom, family. This is Yuda. That's right. Surprise. I'm back. Not completely. I just wanted to take a few minutes to share some thoughts with you guys. I've been doing a lot of thinking about the scriptures and how they seem to be structured in such a way that keep us arguing with each other. I don't think that was a coincidence. I think that was a strategy. And the reason I say that is because no matter what scripture we bring, look at all the teachers on YouTube and other places. When one says this is what happened, another goes to a scripture and counter that saying, well, this says something different. Think about this for a minute. You can't find anything that leads to 1619 from the last captivity in Babylon. You can't find any facts, documents that says without a doubt what happened to our people up to the year 1619. Also consider, the scripture says they thought to change the times, the days. All right, I think this has a lot to do with that. And then think about the fact that they have these fake Jews over in this fake land that was purchased by the Rothschilds in 1945. And in 1948, they moved these Ashkenazis into this fake land, giving them the name Jews. When you put all of these things together, it's just one big ball of confusion. Ask yourself this question. When they took us into the last captivity, which is this one, the one we're in right now, they also took our original book. Now keep in mind, they have done nothing but lied from day one. They took our original book, and after so many years, they just politely handed us supposedly our book back. But that wasn't our book. And they had been in there slicing up all the facts, putting in their own words. This was a trap. This was a trap. And I'm just starting to realize the book they gave us, it had just enough information to cause us to argue. I think that's an extremely clever way to keep us divided. Just think about it. All we do is argue about what this says. No, it said that. No, it says this. Oh, it means this. Oh, it means that. That's all we do. And if you really think about it, we're not getting anywhere. We're stuck in a circle. All because of what they did to our book. Or maybe it's better said, what they did to the book they gave us. I believe I'm onto something, and I have been up for 2 days trying to figure this out. There is a whole lot of information that we are not getting. There's a whole bunch missing. And that's why we can't come together as a people. They have the New Testaments. They're fighting against the Torah. The Torah's fighting against the New Testament. Can y'all see the plan or the strategy? We overlooked and underestimated the cleverness of these people. That's the reason they handed us this book. They knew it would cause more problems than solutions. I'm going to get to the bottom. If it takes me out, I'm going to get to the bottom. But I want y'all to just think about that. Look at all these books that's out there. Each one is telling something different. Why is it that we can't find the records from the time that we were in Babylon under Nebuchadnezzar and was freed by Cyrus? How did we go from there to white Jews in fake Jerusalem? How did we get there? Can y'all see this puzzle, the pieces that are missing? I do. There is something missing, and I'm determined to find it. Whether I will or not, that remains to be seen. Maybe that's the way it was intended. Who knows? But the one thing that I do know is the Most High said he would send us to Egypt again in ships. Now, I realize there was several times in history that Israel was transported on ships. But this time was different. This time, that ship took us much farther away from the motherland. Why is it that we cannot find that trail that leads from the freedom of Nebuchadnezzar under Cyrus to today? All we have is Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy tells us who we are, but it does not really tell us how we got to where we are today. That's a big chunk missing. How did we get to America? Where does it show in these books they gave us? Where does it show how we got here? All we know is that Deuteronomy says we will go back to Egypt, this time by ships. But what it don't say is how we got to this place on those ships. I don't know if I'm rambling right now, but I got so much in my head and I'm trying to figure out how to put it all together so that it makes sense, because right now it don't make no sense. We know who we are, and we know where we are. Now the funny thing is that we know that we were scattered. Judah, for the most part, went to the northern and southern parts of America. And the rest was scattered. Those were the remnants. But there's not enough details that tells us the trail we took, where we left from. Where did we leave from when we got on those ships? And don't say from the western coast of Ghana, West Africa. That's where they picked us up. That's where they picked us up. But from there to here, there's something missing. And I brought this up because this is going to be, I'm not going to call it a lesson, but I'm going to bring out a lot of points. I'm just going to scroll through it to give you guys an idea. And you're going to see this again, but the next time you see it, I'm going to have some details. But I brought this up. Now, here's a map. Okay, here's Egypt. Here's Egypt. Here's Jerusalem up here in the upper right. Now, if you notice, Israel traveled from Jerusalem to Egypt. They didn't have to take a ship. Here's the trail. Everywhere they went was on dry land. Everywhere they went was on dry land, all the way to Goshen. No ships involved. Now, the reason I asked the question the last time in the last lesson that I did, what changed from this time right here, when they walked on land, to the country of Egypt? Why would they need a ship this time? Why would we have to be put on a ship to go back to this same place? Do y'all see what I'm trying to show you? Something happened that caused us to go out into the ocean and travel thousands of miles from this land. Now, as you can see, you can travel this land on foot, on dry land. You have no need for a ship. But then on this captivity that we're in right now, we were boarded on ships. Why? Why couldn't we just walk back into it just like we did here and go back to here? This is why I say this cannot be the Egypt that the scriptures is referring to. This is why I sincerely believe that Egypt is the modern day America. And like I said, I'm going to find the details some kind of way. I don't know how long it's going to take me, but I'm working on it. It's 1 o'clock in the morning right now, and I've been up all day and all night. I'm just scrolling through this. I want y'all to see some of the things that I'm focused on. Okay. When I brought up the continental drift, the Pangea, I had a brother, Andre, gave me a long list. He was respectful in a way. He kind of was a little sarcastic at the very end, but that's okay. I mean, he has a right to express himself any way he chooses. But the information that he brought, it's written in the book. And everything that he brought is what is written in that book. But what he didn't say is, how did we get on ships to go this far away in this captivity? His main focus was to prove that the Pangea couldn't have been the cause of America breaking off from Africa, going west. Now, I have to admit, he brought some good points, but it did not solve the equation. And he told me at the very end that documentation is better than conversation. And that's true. But he didn't bring documentation. He brought the same scriptures that I had already read just a couple of days before. I knew about the Levant. And he was saying Jeremiah wouldn't have left the Levant. Okay, but I'm not going to get into that. My main focus is there is a gap from the Babylonian captivity to the year 1619. There's a big gap, and I'm looking for that gap. I know that when they took our original book, I know they took a lot of stuff out of those books, and these people are not stupid. They're very, very, very clever. When they gave us the so-called Bible, first of all, you got to wonder, why would they take your book and then give it back to you? You follow what I'm saying? They took the original book, but they gave us this other book that they call the Bible. It had a lot of scriptures in it that was from our book, but there's a lot of stuff in there, I believe, that wasn't there originally. I believe they changed the dates, they changed the times, even in the Torah. They changed a lot of stuff, which has caused us to argue. We can't agree on nothing. We can't agree on nothing. And do you believe that was a coincidence? This picture right here, this was found in Arizona, in the Grand Canyon. So was this. This was on the walls of the Grand Canyon. They found this in the Grand Canyon. Look at this. Isis temple. Look at this. Now, I lived in Arizona. I've been there, and I noticed it did look strange, but I didn't think much about it. They found this in the Arizona caves. They found this, and they found this. Now, funny thing about this is they were able to figure out that all of these structures were arranged the same way they were in the original Egypt. Align them with the stars, line them up with the stars. They did the same thing. They were hieroglyphics in these caves in Arizona, some in Utah, California, Tennessee, Ohio, and America. And let me just read this to you real quick. In the Arizona Grand Canyon, you are not allowed to set foot around these areas that they have discovered these artifacts. They're heavily guarded. Why? Look at this. Now, you can look this up in the Arizona Gazette. This was in 1909. Okay? So what I wanted to tell you guys is there is a huge gap in our history. And if they hid who we were all these years, do you really believe they wouldn't hide the rest of it? Do you really think they would give you back your original book without some editing, some changes? This is why we argue with each other, because of this book, these books. I believe the truth may not come from these books, so to speak. I believe that due diligence and searching for the truth will be revealed by the Most High. Will it be done in our time? I don't know. Or does the Most High already have a set time to show us these things? Because like I say, right now, we seem to be our own worst enemy. While they sit back and laugh at how we fuss and fight over some books that they wrote, or some books that they rewrote. Let me put it that way. They will never admit the truth. And whatever they give you, believe me, it's only what they want you to know. And the bit that they gave us is, like I said, just enough to keep us at each other's throats. I'm not going to quit, family. I'm going to find that gap. And I hope I find it soon, because I really want to expose this. So, yeah, I'm coming back to my lessons, but only after I finish this. There's a lot here, and still there's a lot more to go. So I will see you again, but I won't be on a ship. Shalom.